Hey everybody, welcome back. Just a reminder why we're here. It is Comic Relief, and if you haven't been to your local Sainsbury's, do get there and get yourself a nice red nose. Everything that you buy from Comic Relief goes all to the charities. The one that Anna's just showed you, there are t-shirts, there are the noses, there's the wobbly cool things on the head that Anna had. There are the mugs, there are the badges, there are keychains.
We've got a lot of stuff.
There is a lot of stuff to get.
Tranmere Rovers mug. No, that's not it.
So you can support them either that way, or you can go right now to our page, which is here, comicrelief.com/fish. If you're just joining us, this is no such thing as a fish. We are a podcast. Usually we do 4 facts per episode, but this episode, it's 35 facts. 35 facts with 35 guests, each speaking for 35 minutes each, to celebrate 35 years of Comic Relief. We are now, I believe, 22 facts in, so this will be our 23rd, and we're very excited to talk to our next guest. Our next guest has been on the show before, pushing my crazy conspiracy theories in his headline fact about time travelers and the Titanic. He's a podcaster himself with Judge John Hodgman. He's a best-selling author. It is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, John Hodgman.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Fish.
Hello, John.
How are you?
John. Very good. How are you?
It's so nice to join you at 11:32 New York time and not 4:32 a.m. where you are. I am very grateful for time zones right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of you, and have incredible confidence that only the 5 of us are here right now. So we can speak freely.
This is a safe space.
No, there's over 2,000. It's 2,400 people are watching us right now. So yeah. So thank you, everyone.
Go to bed, people, for goodness
yes,
Dan,
this
you can't
is
just
the
say
time.
that. That's just like revealing that we're just walking along, and then suddenly you reveal there's a huge drop beneath us. It's very terrifying.
To all of you out there, I apologize. This would be a great time. We got some big names coming up. This would be a great time to take a little rest. Rest your eyes.
Never.
Set your alarm for 32 minutes hence, and you can come right back.
John, I'm so sorry to say, do you know what that's called? There's an opera term, it's called a sherbet aria, and it's basically a bit of the opera which is safe for people to go and buy some sherbet in.
Oh, really?
And it's like when Keith Richards plays a song that he has written the lyrics to, and he sings a song at a Rolling Stones gig, and it's so Mick can go and have a bit of a lie down. And everyone else does too.
Isn't it true that there was an app where you could put in what movie you're going to watch, and it would tell you when you can go to the toilet and you won't miss anything important?
Yes, yeah, that's right. So people who'd seen it before would put in the time codes and say, yeah, it's a bit filler here. You can go have a poo. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the app was impossible to silence, and it would just say out loud in the theater, have a poo now.
Paul McCartney also says when he does his gigs, he knows the audience has lost interest in his new songs when you can see the light.
I think full stop there, right? I hope he's not coming on later.
I'm a big fan of the
Don't get Dan started on Paul McCartney's new oeuvre, okay?
Oh, come on, Egypt Station. Beautiful.
Did he do the frog song, Paul McCartney? Or
yes,
is that
he
one
did
of the other
do
ones?
it.
Oh, yeah, that's a new one, isn't it?
I can't believe this is the most controversial thing, Hodgman, about James here, is that his favourite Beatles song is the Frog song, and it's not even a Beatles song.
It's a classic. It's an absolute classic.
It was unbelievable.
Which one is? I thought the Rainbow Connection. Is that what you're talking about? Never mind.
It was Rupert the Bear. It was done for Rupert the Bear.
Oh, was it?
I see.
Something very interesting about that. There was a very famous video clip that that went with the song of Rupert the Bear and the Frog chorus, and there was a script written for it, but it wasn't as good as it could be. So Paul McCartney hired to punch up the script Terry Jones of Monty Python, Douglas Adams, and John Lloyd, creator of QI, and they were paid to punch up the script. So I don't know if any of their stuff was used, but they're behind it. Douglas Adams, Terry Jones.
So wait a minute. When we're writing QI, we're always writing scripts, and then we give them to John Lloyd to punch up the script. So basically what you're saying is I am the person who did the frog song. I'm the same guy.
You are the frog song guy, yes.
Oh,
You knew there was a reason you liked it, and it's because it's you all along.
Ladies and gentlemen of the world, Paul McCartney is here.
Your new songs are shit.
Look, I know Paul McCartney is probably watching. Keep doing your thing, Sir Paul. It's amazing that you're still making music.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the cranks.
McCartney 3, Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. Come on, guys. Memory was full. It's amazing. Listen.
What?
We could go on all night.
That would be fine by me.
All right, let's do it. So, Paul McCartney. Let's get
I will come back again.
Let's get your fact. It is time for fact number. What number are we on, guys? 23.
23.
It is John Hodgman.
Well, this is something of a personal fact that leads to other facts. But I recently learned that the very, very tiny town in Western Massachusetts, which I wrote about in my book, Vacation Land. That's a plug. Go ahead. You can buy it or borrow it from a library.
It's sold as Holiday Land in the UK.
Is it really? Yeah, sure.
All the libraries are closed at the moment.
Yeah.
So
What do you call my follow-up book that's called In the Hospital? What do you call that over there? Just in hospital?
Just in the hospital. Yes.
Oh, I see.
Just a very slightly different accent.
Sorry, I thought I was being extremely clever. Anyway,
It's just called
goodbye
Nurse!
forever.
Exclamation mark.
Right. This very, very tiny town, population of about 700 of Leiden, Massachusetts, was the birthplace and home of an extremely thriving New Age cult in my lifetime, and no one ever told me. And this took me by surprise. It was called the Brotherhood of the Spirit cult. It was founded in Leiden in a treehouse by a guy named Michael Metallica, which is a pretty incredible name for a cult leader.
Metallica.
Metallica.
Is that his real name?
Yeah.
Michael Metallica.
Wow.
And I say cult, it was really more of a commune for most of its lifetime, which spanned from about 1970 until 1988. But there was a period in the middle 70s where it grew into a cult of personality surrounding Michael Metallica and his rock band, Flesh and the Spirit, which he later renamed Metallica. I'm not sure who got there first, but it's pretty amazing. But, for me, and in fact, in Turners Falls, Massachusetts, the nearby town, there's a theater called the Shea Theater where I have performed many times, never knowing that this was the central church of this community, which went by different names. It was originally Brotherhood of the Spirit, and then the Metallica Aquarian Concept, and then finally the Renaissance Church and Community. For me, who is completely fascinated with communes and cults and intentional communities, to learn that this little tiny town had this secret history was akin to me of learning that my high school actually used to be a Disneyland. I had really? Yeah. The gym used to be a Pirates of the Caribbean. That's how exciting and weird it was for me to learn this. And the commune had a very, very long life. It was very successful. In its heyday in 1975, the Renaissance Community owned about a dozen storefronts in this little downtown area. They had the theater, which was their church. They had a pizza place. They had a catering and restaurant business called the Noble Feast. They had a garage that would create tour buses for the Rolling Stones. They would weld tour buses together and make these massive tour buses. And they had a greeting card company that was incredibly successful called Renaissance Greeting Cards, which was one of the big two among Hallmark for a long time. I had no idea it grew out of this capitalistic cult. And it grew so successful. And Michael Metallica became so much of a drunken asshole that by 1988, the commune got together and said, "We don't want you around anymore." And they paid, and they offered him $10,000 to leave and never come back. And he said, "Deal." And he then passed away, moved to upstate New York, and was an EMT, an ambulance physician. Until he passed away in the early 2000s.
He was the leader of the personality cult, and they got so sick of his personality.
Yes.
That they kicked him out. That is almost unheard of, surely. How many personality cults have ended like that? That is very bad.
And very few charismatic personality cults, I think, end with the leader going, "Yeah, I'll take the $10,000."
Like a deal or no deal, but very long version of it.
Yeah,
But-
you know
but-
what? Yeah.
And this town, John, did you say it was where you grew up or you were born? Or
No, my mom and dad had a little home in this little town of Leiden, Massachusetts.
sorry.
And when my mom passed away, she left it to me and my wife. So I had spent a lot of my time growing up in that area. And I knew Turner's Falls, I knew Leiden, I knew Warwick, Massachusetts, where they had their big house when they were Brotherhood of the Spirit. When they had Brotherhood of the Spirit, that was sort of their major sort of communal living period. And they had a thing called Toilet City, which was a circle of toilets with no
Oh, really?
curtains or stalls or anything.
Well, that's
So
doing it like the ancient Romans, isn't it? You know, go back to what the historically successful civilization.
Technically, I think we all do it the same way. I think we all have the same, we poop and pee in the same ways. But
That's a
me.
good point.
You know.
Not me. But you'll have to buy my book to find out the method. The secret. A simple 12-step program to revolutionize the way waste leaves your body.
this is how cults of personality start. The Andrew Hunter Murray third way of urination. I don't know why I said third way. That's
Third way, yeah.
so exciting.
So were there any other weird things? It's a cult. Did he make them do anything else strange except this communal urinating? Like, putting lizards up your bum or anything?
No, it was
Cults do weird stuff.
It was a very happy experience. And what I didn't know was that there was a long history of these sorts of communal and sort of alternative lifestyle communities within this area. And in fact, one of his mentors was a guy named Elwood Babbitt. And Elwood Babbitt was a spirit channeler. He believed that he could channel interdimensional ancient spirits that would teach him about the world. And he hung around with Michael Metallica for a long time, but he got bored of him too. But he was known as the medium of Massachusetts and was raised going to Lake Pleasant in Montague, Massachusetts, right nearby, which was one of the oldest and most thriving spiritualist communities in the United States at the turn of the century. Thousands of people would come there in the summer to gather around the lake and camp and go do seances and psychic readings and all sorts of things. And it was dominated by two different spiritualist groups. And they had a parting of the ways over the issue of reincarnation.
Really?
Yeah.
When was this, John? Sorry.
This would have been the turn of the 19th into the 20th century.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Really
And
like
what
that idea. Of
what was the
disagreement over reincarnation? One group storming out saying, "Come back! I'm never coming back." That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The two groups differed over reincarnation insofar as one believed in it, and that was the National Spiritual Alliance. They were followers of Reverend George Tabor Thompson, who was known for reasons I have not been able to figure out as the psychic songster.
Okay.
Maybe he beamed songs into people's heads. I don't know.
Oh,
They believed in reincarnation, and the other group did not believe in reincarnation, and that group died out, ironically or appropriately.
Which
Yeah.
one died out? The one that believed in it or didn't?
No, the ones that did not believe in reincarnation died out and did not come back.
The group who did believe in reincarnation is actually just one guy, but he's gone around so many times
Right,
that he looks like an entirely successful cult.
No, their temple burned almost completely in 1907, but the Thompson Temple in Lake Pleasant was rebuilt and exists again. So both groups kind of proved their point.
Right.
Wow.
I read recently that reincarnation-wise, we're expecting L. Ron Hubbard back, which is
Are we?
well,
Always.
the Scientologists are, and to the point where in America there's an actual mansion that is set up ready, waiting for him to come with a full-time staff that do the laundry. So they just make sure they rewash his clothes so that it's nice, spick and ready. His shower has his little slippers by the shower ready for him when he gets out. His car has the keys in the ignition waiting for him to come back.
Dan, when he comes back, is he gonna be born as a full-grown human, or is he going to be born as a baby?
What a
And
good
if he's
point.
born as a
What a
baby,
good point.
how is he going to drive the car?
He's going to be born as a baby who can drive with his mind.
Oh, okay.
He's a magic
Such a
man.
good point.
Not only that, Dan, but at every every church of Scientology maintains an office for L. Ron Hubbard in pristine condition, so that when he comes back, he can zip right in and start doing his work.
Is it a nursery? Is it? Is there a cot as well as a blackboard?
I think that it's a nursery. I mean, I think that it's a regular adult office. I do know that in addition to all of the things that Dan mentioned, on the desk there is a fresh, unopened pack of Kool brand cigarettes. That's KOOL. That's a brand of mentholated cigarettes in the United States that L. Ron Hubbard was very fond of.
Well, that's not good for babies. We should get rid of that immediately.
Yeah,
That's interesting, because isn't it with the Dalai Lama, when he gets reincarnated, they find the Dalai Lama, but the new Dalai Lama, by getting the possessions of the old Dalai Lama around some babies and see which babies go for the possessions, don't they?
Yeah.
So maybe when the new L. Ron Hubbard comes, they're going to get a load of fags on the floor and see which baby's like,
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take it from experience. Not all babies like mentholated cigarettes.
Well, some of them just go for the proper ones, don't they?
Yeah,
Menthol's
right.
really pussies.
Go for roll-ups.
I don't mean that.
God.
Menthol's
So
actually not allowed here now, right? Can't buy
What?
menthol cigarettes.
Is that right?
Oh, really?
Pretty sure, yeah, because it disguises them as something healthy. I think the idea was that there might be one person left who thinks that if you make a cigarette mint flavored, then it stops you getting lung cancer.
Okay.
Really?
Right.
Yeah, can't do it if you're having to.
So, Hodgman, if you had arrived at your parents' place during the time of this cult, do you think you would have been tempted at all to have a little play in it, or
No.
Little play.
No. They were.
Why do you say no?
I've seen photos. They're all too attractive and sexy. They would have intimidated me.
That's the only reason?
Scared me. Yeah.
Right,
Of course.
okay.
No,
Too
I-
modest. Too modest to join someone else's personality cult.
Well,
is-
Yeah. Exactly. And I would have been offended that they had not recruited me. Probably. I'm the anti-Groucho Marx. I won't join a club that doesn't demand that I be a member. The Renaissance greeting card company was very successful, and they were so successful they were like, we don't want to be a part of your commune anymore, and they left and went to Maine and were acquired in the 80s by a massive FTD, which is a massive florist company in the United States. I think that they're still around in name only, but many of these communes and communal living organizations were and are very profitable. There are about 900 intentional living communities in the United States, according to the Intentional Living Community Directory. And some of them embrace active capitalism. And like the Twin Oaks community in Virginia, I happen to know, makes a ton of money off of tofu, hammocks. They used to be the sole hammock supplier to the Pier 1 retail stores in all over the United States. And academic indexing is their other thing.
Well, you can see how they're all very closely connected products.
Sure, yeah, it's just one thing leads to another.
Uh-huh.
I happen to know that because I was at a Thanksgiving dinner a couple of years ago, and the brother of one of the guests was there. He is the recruiter for the Twin Oaks community in Virginia. And again, I was not asked to join, and I was very upset about it. But this has a long history because I don't know if these brand names will register for you, but in Upper New York, in Oneida, New York, there was the Oneida community in the late 1850s that was controversial because it practiced what it called complex marriage, unlike simple marriage, which we all enjoy every day. Complex marriage was basically everyone was married to everybody. And this is like we're talking about the late 19th century. They were talking about free love. They coined the term free love. It was very controversial. They did not want to have babies because they did not feel the community could support raising children. So the side practice, along with complex marriage, was something called male continence, which was non-ejaculation. That was their practice. They died out, but they formed, among their industries, they formed a flatware, a cutlery industry which Oneida forks and knives, which were a standard at the table until 2005. I believe they're still available overseas, but they manufactured them in New York until 2005.
I remember these people. Didn't they believe weird things about what sex did? I feel like they thought sex turned humans into batteries. I remember trying to present this as a fact once. It had a weird effect on humans and made them electrical or something.
Well, it charges you.
I believe you, but I cannot confirm that. They had a lot of...
Well, that's true. Nice. If you run out of energy, all you need to do is rub it between your hands. And
yeah.
But speaking of electricity and energy, the Amana Communities in Iowa were founded around the same time by a bunch of renegade German pietists who were chased out of Germany because they refused to serve in any army, and they formed the Amana Communities. I believe there are 5 of them near Iowa City, which is where the university is. And they became a self-sustaining communal living commune where they relied entirely upon their own raised crops and horsepower and everything else. But by 1933, something happened called the Great Change, which was they realized they were broke. So they split off their religious community and their business operations, because they had like pelt processing, some other kind of stuff. And one of their members realized we're going to need there's this new need in the United States for refrigeration. So he founded a refrigeration company that he sold to the Amana communities. They managed the Amana Refrigeration Company, and Amana became one of the biggest, and still is one of the biggest refrigerator brands in the United States. And not only that, they eventually got sold to Raytheon, but the first commercial microwave oven was an Amana microwave oven, founded by a group of anti-technology German pietists.
Is there any product in the United States that didn't start as a cult?
No, I'm currently using an Apple computer, so I can definitely.
It seems like the key to get rich quick is to join a commune that says it rejects all capitalism and getting rich quick schemes, and somehow they end up doing it. Maybe
somehow it works. And there are more. I mean, cults get a bad name, and probably they should. And cult is itself considered to be a derogatory term among the intentional living communities in the United States. Most communal living organizations are not authoritarian, charismatic personality cults.
Well, don't we need to distinguish between cult and commune? It feels like cult has connotations, whereas commune is, it feels like this is more of a commune, what you were talking about at the start.
Right. The Michael Metallica did end up, he went through a dark period where he made everyone give them his money. And he truly was trying to control everyone within and declared a new religion called the Cult of Metallica, and
so good.
Had his followers walk up and down the streets of Turner's Falls declaring themselves followers of the Church of Metallica.
They showed him when they gave him an extra $10,000 on top of all the money he'd already taken from them.
That's exactly right. I mean, it was L. Ron Hubbard who is fabled, and I think that it's confirmed, but let's just say fabled to have said the easiest way to make money on this earth is to create a religion, and specifically one where everyone wears phony naval uniforms, and that's exactly what he did. I hope they're not watching. Please don't come at me.
There are all 2,400 people watching from Scientology HQ.
It's an virtual excursion. They've all come on. Well, this is going to be fun.
Back in the early 2000s. I was a freelance writer for GQ magazine in the United States, and I wrote a front of the book calendar of upcoming things that were happening around the United States. It was a stupid. I'm only saying this is a stupid, boring front of the book, unbylined thing, and in it, and again, this is the early 2000s before there was a lot of internet. I made a kind of glib joke about Scientology. And I was like, should I put this in? I know they have a rep, but it's fine. No one will ever know. The minute that thing hit the stands, my editor called me and said, the Church of Scientology would like to have a talk with you.
Wow.
And I said,
my
no,
goodness.
thank you. And he said, okay, that's what I'm here for, just to pass the message along. I'm here to protect you. And then he called me the next week. He said, the Church of Scientology, they're really angry and they really want to talk to you.
Wow.
And I said, again, no, thank you. And he said, okay, no problem. I understand. I'm here to protect you, but I did give them your email address. I'm like, what? Why did you do that?
Oh, no.
And he said they were very scary. I mean, he's like literally got harassed and bullied into giving them my email address. And they emailed me. Yeah, they wrote a couple of times. And in fact, these emails are on, the last I knew, they were on an old computer in the basement of the home in Western Massachusetts in Leiden. And they were stored there for a long, long time. And then that computer wouldn't work anymore and I got rid of it. I last saw it 2 Aprils ago. So it's been a long time since I reviewed the letters.
Is that how emails work? The emails are just on one computer in a basement somewhere?
Yes. Yeah, no, that's a weird thing. In addition to being the locus of this cult, my basement in Western Massachusetts was the internet from 1999 to 2007, pretty much.
Amazing. Yeah.
All of the internet flowed through there.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
The letters were very hectoring in the first paragraph. And they're like, you are a horrible bigot. You would not be making, this is a major world religion. You would not be making fun of other major world religions this way. You are full of hate and you need to apologize. But guess what? We think probably Scientology can help you get together and talk about it. And I just didn't respond.
Well, yeah, I think you're safe here, John, because the only people up at 5 o'clock in the morning are people with newborn babies, and none of them will be L. Ron Hubbard, will they?
We know a pretty good test.
Yeah.
L. Ron, if you are watching, now is an ideal time to make an enormous donation to Comic Relief 2021. This is the chance. We know you're good for it.
I love communes that came out that sort of had a bit of controversy behind it, but also did interesting stuff. Esalen in Big Sur in California, which was the home basically of New Age. So it was inspired by Aldous Huxley and the idea of the utopia that you could be achieved, and things that came out of it, like Joseph Campbell did a lot of stuff there. Alan Watts' Primal Scream was pioneered there. There was so it's basically like yoga coming to the West was basically first practice there. And when they were setting it up, this is my favorite thing about it. It was these people that were trying to set it up as this commune, and they wanted to attract all the best minds there, but they had these Hells Angels that kept coming and these bikers who would just come and use the whole area at night, and they needed to get them out. So they got their bouncer, who at the time was Hunter S. Thompson, before he was an author, who devised a plan where he got a bunch of dogs and he went to get other people who were staying there to come and patrol and kick the people out. So this is the patrol that kicked out the bikers, the Hells Angels. It was Hunter S. Thompson, Joan Baez,
sure,
Henry Miller, author of Tropic of Cancer, and Kim Novak, who was from Vertigo, the Hitchcock movie, who went around with these rabid dogs and torchlights, and they did it. They kicked out the people, and then the commune became the peace-loving place that it was as a result of that.
I call that lineup Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 5.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
That's the real Fantastic Four right there. Was it 4 or 5 of them?
Yeah, I think there's 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Hodgman, we've run out of time with you. I can't believe it.
Thank God.
Hodgman, 10 grand if you leave us. 10 grand if you leave us right now.
Yeah, I'm writing the check.
And any Scientologist watching, it's all his words, it's not ours. You've got his email address.
Yeah.
And please try refreshing, cool cigarettes. Anyone watching with a baby? If you want to know if your baby is L. Ron Hubbard, give it a cool, why don't you?
Oh, thank you so much, Hodgman. It's always
My pleasure.
wonderful
Great to see you all virtually.
Lovely
Thank you for
seeing you.
doing this.
Thank you everyone who's donated while we were talking at that point. Please keep bringing the money in. We're going to go away for a couple of minutes and we'll be back with our next guest. We're heading back down to New Zealand. It is Angela Dravid. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Hello, everybody. That was fun, wasn't it? Well, now you have to pay. Please go to comicrelief.com/fish and give us all of your money so that it can be spent on fabulous causes around the world. There are many more videos where these came from, so bring all of your money and give it to us. Link is below. Click on the link.